The 2023 Whitney winner is back. Can he win again? Let's talk about White Abarrio. Hi, everyone. Matthew DeSantis here with NYRA Bets, here with another Whitney Stakes Spotlight Series, and this one is on White Abarrio. Now, before we get into the 2023 Whitney winner's chances of doing it again in 2025, I want to remind you to press that like and subscribe button today. NYRA Bets YouTube is entirely free of cost. Just press that subscribe button and you get notified when new videos drop on the channel, whether those are race previews, full card analyses, handicapping and betting tutorials, weekly programs, and so much more. So press that like and subscribe button today. All right. Well, listen, welcome to this Whitney Stakes Spotlight Series. We got the Whitney coming up on Saturday. Want to get you ready for some of the main contenders and want to talk about a horse that is kind of getting overlooked, I feel like. And it's hard because he's a standout on the track, and that is White Abarrio, a horse that won the 2023 Whitney in convincing fashion by over 6 lengths with Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard. He's got him up again. Going to be really tough in this spot. Eager to talk about this horse for trainer Saffie Joseph Jr. And this is a horse that has had a bit of a time throughout his career. He's gone through some ups and downs. This is a horse that was pretty precocious to start off. Ran in the Jockey Club. If you remember, he ran that Jockey, Kentucky Jockey Club back at Churchill Downs, actually, which was kind of a key race. Smile Happy, Classic Causeway, White Abarrio, all those horses came out of that race. Goes down to Florida, wins the Holy Bull, wins the Florida Derby, goes into the Kentucky Derby, does not run particularly well, and really doesn't get much done then over the next year. You know, a lot of seconds, a third here and there, gets a win against Optional Claiming Company. Then leaves Saffie's barn and goes to Rick Dutrow Jr. And the horse suddenly starts to skyrocket, finishes third in the Met Mile, wins the Whitney, wins the Breeders' Cup Classic, goes overseas, does not run well in the Saudi Cup or last year's Met Mile, then comes back and gets transferred back over to Saffie's barn, and again has kind of rediscovered form. So he's a horse that this year has won the Pegasus World Cup and won the Ghost Zapper, and last time out ran 4th in the Met Mile. I'm willing to excuse that effort for White Abarrio. Why is that? I think it's partially because a mile has never been his distance. That's not what he does best. He can win at a mile against inferior company, but against elite grade 1 company, that's not what he's physically. When you see him, that's not what he is. He's not a miler. Also, it's the Wilson Chute, which is a little bit of a different configuration for horses. And then additionally, it was a sloppy track. He's 0 for 2 over a sloppy track. His best finish was a 3rd. He doesn't necessarily like that conditions. The connections said as much immediately after the race, just never got over the track. And I think that's kind of his biggest issue. Now, Saturday is going to be fast and firm, or at least fast and good. And White Abarrio is going to get a distance of 1.8 miles that he likes. That's a good distance for him. This is a track he likes. He's won at. Remember, the 2 times he didn't win here at Saratoga were the Met Mile. Again, not his distance. So again, I'm willing to cross those out because when he runs his 2-turn races up here at Saratoga, and there's only been one, he got the win in the Whitney. I think he's a very good horse. And he's 4-1 on the morning line. He's a horse that I feel like gets overlooked because everybody's focused on Sierra Leone and Fierceness. And yet, here's White Abarrio, a horse that has won over $7 million in career earnings. Not bad for a $40,000 purchase. And has the best jockey in the colony, the best jockey in North America, maybe one of the best jockeys on the planet right now, Irad Ortiz Jr., in the irons. That means a lot in a race like this. I also think he's going to sit the perfect type of trip. White Abarrio is a very versatile horse. Can sit a few different types of trips. Can sit mid-pack, as he did in the Pegasus World Cup, where he sat 5th in the early going in an 11-horse field. He can also go to the front when there's not pace there, as he did in the Ghost Zapper. So he can sit a few different types of trips. That gives Irad Ortiz Jr. all the flexibility he needs. And he could sit a little bit, and I referred to this with regards to Highland Falls as well. There's a little bit of a long shot who I like a lot. Could sit a Goldilocks trip. What do I mean by that? There's going to be some pace in this race. You look at a horse like Contrary Thinking, that's why the horse is entered to give pace for a stablemate Sierra Leone. You look at a horse like Mama's Gold, long shot, who's got good speed. Skippy Longstocking, White Abarrio's stablemate. Fierceness. Those horses all like to be forward. Now, White Abarrio does too, but he doesn't need to be forward. If those horses break out into a little bit of a pace battle, White Abarrio can sit behind them. The difference is, unlike Sierra Leone, unlike a horse like Post Time, he's not a dead closer. He's not going to be 10 lengths back at second call. So he can sit a little behind the pace and then make his run and get first crack at the leaders and not have himself give himself as much to do at the top of the stretch and not exert a lot of energy to make one big long run the way that Post Time, Disarm, if he ends up running, or Sierra Leone will have to. So I think he can sit a very advantageous trip. The question with White Abarrio is whether he is in top form. His workouts have looked good at Saratoga leading up to this race. I think there's every indication he's going to fire a big race. That said, the horse does fall in and out of form at times over his career. I think you could make an argument he is trending down. I think that argument is largely predicated upon that Met Mile effort. And as I said, I think there are a couple of things you can look at in that Met Mile effort and make excuses for, such as the track condition, such as the distance, such as the configuration. So I think when you take those things into consideration, maybe White Abarrio is not trending down as much as you might think. Listen, he is a 6-year-old horse in a field where the top 2 contenders are 4. So he's a little bit older. But that means he's also a little bit more experienced. He's seen a lot more. He's not going to be phased. He's not going to be rattled. 4-1 on the morning line feels like a very good bet, and with regards to the fact that I think he might float up. A lot of people love betting on Mike Rapoli, Todd Pletcher, John Velasquez. A lot of people love betting on Flavian Pratt, Chad Brown, and those connections with Sierra Leone. If a lot of money flows to those two, I could see White Abarrio 5-1, 6-1. That's an interesting price for that horse. So White Abarrio, I think, could be a pretty interesting play in this spot in the Whitney. Hope you enjoyed this Contender Spotlight series. For White Abarrio, make sure to press that like and subscribe button today here on NYRA Bets YouTube. My name is Matthew DeSantis, wishing you a great and profitable day at the races, and reminding you, friends, it's now post time.